Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. Welcome back to Recall Knowledge presents Outlaws of Alkenstar, a show where Pathfinder enthusiasts play through your favorite adventure paths. I'm your GM, Steve, and I am joined by Ricardo, Richard, Ninna, and Tommy. Go ahead, everyone, and say, howdy, Outlaws.
Howdy, Outlaws.
And thanks to Ninna, we are now demonetized on YouTube. Awesome.
For what? For saying howdy, Outlaws? I'm so confused.
No, from the beginning. You can't say it again.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. All of the obscenities and profanities that all of you poo-poo. How hecking dare you?
Everyone joining us for the first time is probably very confused, but welcome. And everyone who's been with us before, welcome back. We're happy to have you with us again. Now, last week we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger as our outlaws were ready to go headfirst into a fight with what Saruk saw hiding in the mana storm ahead, a dragon. So let's get moving really quickly and get to playing because I don't want to wait to see just how this ends. Yeah.
For the bad guys, it's going to be a TPK.
We did open with a crit on the dragon for like 50 points of damage or something like that with the ballista, so that was pretty amazing.
I wish it was the ballista. That was my Giselle.
It's cool. Saruk has his mom's spaghetti. He's good.
Mm-hmm. I had spaghetti earlier. I'm very ready for this.
Same.
No vomit, no.
Our first announcement for the night. This episode is sponsored by Molten Hosting.
So
we
hot
have
right
a
now.
sound bot or a fucking thing that makes sounds happen. Just make actual Tom beats go. Those
So
are all
to
words. That was
close out this holiday season, we are getting into the festive spirit with an awesome Christmas song. And what better representation of Christmas than taking something classic, bastardizing it with corporate branding, and releasing it as a sponsor deal. That's right.
This is America.
Welcome to America. Without further ado, the cast of Recall Knowledge presents The 12 Days of Christmas, as presented by Molten Hosting. Please forgive me.
No. Just waiting for the bot to start playing Christmas music.
No music, that's just going to make everything worse. On the first day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me an account on Molten Hosting.
On the second day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
On the third day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
Come on, Steve.
I believe in
On
you.
the 4th day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
On the 5th day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 5 gigs of storage. Woo!
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting. Okay. Fair warning, it gets really hard to come up with good things based on numbers from here on. Bear with us.
Or don't. Just leave.
On the day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
On the 7th day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
God, how many days
On
of
the
Christmas
8th
are
day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me $8 pro plan.
7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plantiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
Oh my god.
On the 9th day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 9 Discord webhooks.
$8 pro plan.
7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage. I hate you, Steve.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plan tiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
Yeah, on the 10th day of Christmas, I guess my fucking internet worked. Once Molten Hosting gave to me 10 gig storage upgrade.
9 Discord webhooks.
$8 pro plan.
7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plan tiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting. We should have just done like Hanukkah. We would have been done by now.
Yep.
All right.
Or we could have just
This-
talked shit on rich people on the internet. I mean,
This one is really bad. It gets pretty bad.
all bad.
On the 11th Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me 11-minute backup restores.
10 gig storage upgrade.
9 Discord webhooks.
$8 pro plan.
7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plan tiers.
2 server slots.
And an account on Molten Hosting.
On the 12th day of Christmas, Molten Hosting gave to me $12 elite tier.
11-minute backup restores.
10 gig storage upgrades.
9 Discord webhooks.
$8 pro plan.
7 Discord channels.
6 server locations.
5 gigs of storage.
4 weeks of backups.
3 awesome plan tiers.
2 server slots.
And an account
Account
on
on
Molten
Molten
Hosting.
God damn it, Nina.
And we survived. We lost all our viewers.
Yep. We're actually negative right now. I don't know how that
Wow.
is.
Negative viewers.
That was fun.
We owe Twitch more viewers.
That was we owe Twitch viewers. That was very fun and very silly. And a big thanks to Molten Hosting for sponsoring the show. In case for some reason you've been living under a lava rock, Molten Hosting provides your Foundry VTT hosting in the cloud, so your game always runs smooth. Each tier of service comes with backup options, easy access to your files, and your server can be up and running in just minutes. Make sure to check them out at moltenhosting.com. And it is a service we use on the show. It's the service we urge you to check out. And I wasn't able to work this into the song. I was going to put it on day one, but I couldn't figure out how. However, at checkout, you can use the code Recall Knowledge.
One
word.
word.
It's one word.
It's one word.
It's one.
At checkout,
word.
and you can get your first month of service for free. Thank you, Molten Hosting. And thank you to BDG Streams giving Saruk a hero point. I don't know who that could possibly be.
I have had a week, and I really just am manifesting shoot this dragon
Yes.
and kill
Yes.
it before anything else happens. Damn it. I'm going to roll 1 into a 1.
No.
Watch.
That would be the worst
No,
use
no.
of hero points. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for announcements. Rick, why don't you go ahead and start up that dance party?
Ooh, there's a crowd. Whoa.
There we go. That's going to do it for announcements tonight. Viewers, go ahead and sit back and relax. Or maybe we should do the 12 Days of Christmas one last time.
No.
Mm,
Let's go
Let's
ahead
wish
and
Happy
jump
Hanukkah.
to episode 8 of Outlaws of Alkenstar, Cradle of Quartz, written by Scott D. Young. Let's fight a dragon, everyone. Let's go. the camera fades in on a very monotone airship floating high above the spell-scarred desert. Our crew of outlaws have piloted deep into a raging mana storm, which has drained the color from the world around them, leaving nothing but a black and white scene. Dispatching a group of would-be mafias who tried to hijack and crash the ship, the outlaws thought that the worst was behind them, except for one person standing ever vigilant guard on the top of the ship, Saruk, who squinted into the distance, into the oncoming mana storm, and saw a large, ominous shape. And with one awesome Boba Fett moment, launched a ballista missile into the cloud, getting a critical hit. And all that was heard throughout the different decks of this ship as people were rushing to recover and heal themselves, the roar of a dragon, sending a chill down everyone's spines. Now everyone must scramble to find a way to prepare for the oncoming dragon onslaught. So, Saruk, you have opted to stay up in the crow's nest area on the top of the ship.
Mhm.
Anita, Hal, Reficule, where would you guys like to go?
Is there another view for the dragon?
Not yet. No, you don't actually have view of it yet. No one's seen it. All you've heard so far is the loud roar of a dragon. You guys didn't know that Saruk shot it with the backpack because he's so far away. You guys aren't quite sure what's going on. But him striking it with a critical hit caused it to roar out in an angry dragon roar of pain. And that's the moment when you guys all realized, oh shit, there's a dragon outside. But you have not laid eyes on it yet. No one has seen it. The most you've seen is Saruk has seen like a shadowy figure in the clouds of it.
Are there any weapons on the ship that I can assist on using?
The only weapon that exists as like a defensive weapon is the giant harpoon ballista in the top of the ship where Saruk is currently posted with Nolby.
Do I have enough time to go up and help Saruk with that other ballista?
If we were being very strict, I would say no, but like in a sort of running up to the thing and hearing the dragon roar, I will let you move to the top if you would like to move up there.
Okay, I will do that.
You can go ahead and run up and join Saruk on the top. You open the door out of the ship, and you open that door there, and you just see like hundreds of feet below you the spell desert, like Refkill and Hal.
Is Alkenstar an option?
Yeah.
I'd
like to go home, please.
Go ahead and go up to that staircase, Anita. And then you have to click the journal. There should be a thing that says the journal icon that says use ladder. I don't know if you see it. And then that'll teleport you to the next. The audience is just going to watch you running from floor to floor. I only set the black and white filter on a couple of the floors.
I can't see anything else.
So you got to come down this way.
Oh.
All the way down this way until you get here, and this is the ladder that you climb to the top. And then on the very top, we have... I'll pull Tommy up here as well. So in this artwork, there's 2 ballista, but in the actual stat block of this thing, there's only 1 functioning ballista. So the 2 of you could man it. I think if you come up here, that'll give Nolby a chance to sort of go back down to piloting duties and keeping the ship running.
Mm-hmm. Or, Saruk, I could just reload for you.
Saruk is staring forward, reloading. There's Giselle.
Never mind.
Yeah, so like, just so you know, because I know this is your first time up here with Anita, it takes two actions to reload this thing. So 4 actions total to get it reloaded. There's an action to aim, which allows you, it's aimed at a single square on the battlefield. And by spending an action, you can kind of re-aim it within like, I think it's like 30 feet of where it's currently aimed. You can move it to any other square within 30 feet. And then an action to fire it once it's like aimed at the right square and loaded and ready to go.
Honestly, I think if we keep the 2 of us plus Nolby, there's enough action economy that maybe that will actually bear fruit as opposed
That's a fair
to...
point. We can leave Nolby up here with you to help do reload actions, because she is more than welcome, more than happy to do that. In that moment, I guess Hal and Refuel, you guys are just staying in the like pilot's kind of cockpit. Farrah's like hurt, Farrah looks pretty beat up, but she's still like conscious. She's still like steering it. She heard the dragons roar, and she's like peering, squinting into the like clouds ahead to see if she can see what's coming.
Oh, that's fair. Is there anything we can do to help? And he gestures at all the instruments.
Slaps your hand away, like, don't touch.
I'll sit in this chair.
Light a new cigarette.
Refi shouts from behind, "Can I shoot through that big window in front of you?"
Open the fucking side door. But yeah, if you have to, you got to do what you got to do. She'd prefer if you don't shoot through her glass windshield because it's expensive to replace. But if you got to, she's not gonna.
Oh, Refi's opening the door.
Yeah. And then the only thing that Farrah just kind of calls back is just like, just keep it off the engines. Keep it off the ship. Last thing we want is to lose altitude. And with that, let's go ahead and have everyone roll me some initiative.
Might be the second to last thing. I think the last thing we want to do is die.
Do we have the scouting bonus or no?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get the scouting bonus.
That's a 30 for Refuel.
Damn.
That's a
Not bad, not bad.
nat 20 for Saruk. Nice.
Can I roll another?
Nice.
Good. This pleases me.
In the
Crits
chat.
in chat.
In chat.
Oh yeah, you got the jump on initiative. So it's still, this creature's still out in the clouds, but we kind of flash up here to the top of the observation deck. Saruk, what would you like to do on the first?
On the first
On the
round.
first
Okay, so-
round of combat.
Round of them, shut the hell up.
A
I would like to shoot
me
people.
big ass dragon.
Experience points. Okay, so that bullet that I loaded into my Giselle is a special one. It is.
Ooh.
It's. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I have to use an interact action to get the magic as well. So we're gonna hope for the best here. Devise a stratagem. I'm probably hero pointing this.
Total of 24.
Yeah, you know what? I'm hero pointing. Heck!
Down to
That is-
23.
What I deserve. Okay, so that is unfortunate. I think is it where it is on the board, or is it like significantly?
Still pretty
further
far
up?
ahead of you guys. Yeah, it's still so far up that it's still obscured by like the clouds. I have it here on the map just so you have something you can click on a target, but it is still pretty far out there. Like I think we said it was at least like 120 feet away.
That makes sense. Okay, so then better to not take the shot in the first. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't get it in the first round. I have failed you. I think the smartest idea in this moment, something that never gets done. I think I would like to recall knowledge if I can.
Hey, you don't.
I don't know how well I can see it or if it's enough to get a vibe.
Yeah, you don't have any sight on it yet, right? But we can say, based on what you heard and based on the shape that you've seen and based on, where you are in the region, yeah, let's go ahead and make a recall knowledge check. In this case, you're going to be using the default would be either Arcana or Nature. But if you have a specific lore that you think would apply here,
I shouldn't have chose Briar lore. Why didn't I choose random dragon lore? Damn it. Okay.
Always
question
choose
marks.
Dragon Lore.
Always choose dragon lore.
yeah, given the circumstances, you're having a hard time coming up with anything that's going to help you in this moment. You come up with nothing useful. Perhaps if you get a look at it, you might have a better shot, but that is a failure on your. Well, okay, you have a feat, right? What is your feat you have? Dubious
I've got
knowledge.
a lot of feats. Do I have
Something
dubious
like that.
knowledge?
Let's double check what you have.
doing 100 miles of reading. My brain is going a mile. I have cognitive cross. Thank you.
Cognitive cross. I know you took something.
You.
All right.
Yeah.
If you gain no information from a recall knowledge check because you failed using one of the choose. What feats do you have for cognitive crossover? I
chose. It was crafting and Arcana.
Okay. So this is Arcana. Yeah. So it says the trigger is you gain no information from recall knowledge check because you failed the secret check. That is true. It says you may immediately reattempt the triggering check using the other chosen skill. All right, and crafting.
What do I know about how to build dragons? We're about to find out. Okay.
How to build your dragon.
How to build your dragon.
Okay. Giving the what you rolled versus the DC, I still think you get no information even on that reroll.
That's fair. Okay, so then action the third. The map is strange. Is the ballista pointed like this currently?
So I think Nobi would have been able to repoint it like somewhere off the front of the ship for sure. So we'll just say it's sort of pointed right near she got it aimed right at the front of the ship. So we'll just say like, I should probably put a square that we can kind of mark this.
Yeah, or like a token that can be dragged somewhere to determine like this is the square it's aiming at kind of thing. Because my last action is going to be to probably turn the ballista somewhere.
He aims at Anita.
This will make Refi change his ways. Have you ever heard the saying, an eye for an eye?
We could talk about this.
Nope.
All right, just for the temporary, I'm going to use Aldo.
Aldo, what are you doing here?
And then I'll give...
Aldo's the dragon. Holy shit.
Oh, wow, you've really improved yourself. All that fucking... What did we call it? Torog Zumba.
The Zumba classes.
Aldo is our targeting reticule for the thing. Yeah. So you should have the ability to move those around. I give you guys ownership of the token.
And then the aiming it is a minimum of 25, maximum 35. So I think.
Yeah. So yeah, it says one aim allows you to move 35 feet. Yeah. It says minimum distance 25 feet. I think that means it has to just target at least 25 feet away from you.
Yeah.
I believe that's how that works.
Where Aldo's token is plus 30 feet off the board.
Are you counting for windage? You got to hold probably 3 Aldos over.
Yeah, probably.
Is that all 3 actions?
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to Reficule.
I've opened the door, and I see fuck all. So I draw. My pistol's already drawn. I believe it's already been reloaded, so
I'm sure it has.
I'll make a perception check to see if I can see this dragon.
All right, give me an active perception check.
Question marks.
All right, you look out and you kind of like squint into the mana storm, and through like the crackling energy and the lightning, you do see a shape of a creature. You have no visual on it because it is obscured through all the stuff, but you're able to locate the square it's in, and you can take a shot at it. It is.
How far out is it?
Currently, it's sitting at about 100, 120 feet out.
So that'd just be in just at the second range increment of my pistol. Fuck it, why not? I'll take a shot.
So I'll move your token out here just visually, and you can target this thing here just so you have a target on it. But
all right,
you like leaning. When you like, actually, what happens is because when you open the door, it actually does a little fold-out thing. So there is like sort of a staircase that you can kind of stand on out here as you hold on the edge of the ship.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to hold up the top because I'm left-handed, so it's like had to be on the right fucking side of the ship, didn't it?
There's a door on the other side too.
Well, now that I see it's right on this side, I'm not going to go to the other side.
Take a minus 10 wind shear penalty.
God.
All right, gotta move Aldo over.
Physics finder.
So shadow run.
Make sure I'm targeting. -2. Gotcha.
No.
All right, 19 total. That's gonna be a miss.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm gonna use a hero point. Why not?
Do it. Yeah,
let's do it. You don't fight a dragon very often. Let's make it count.
Woo-hoo.
19 is bumped up to a 30. That is a hit.
Regular damage.
Regular roll.
Not great. 6 points of damage.
Yep, so that's 2 actions.
Third action, reload.
Reload it is. So in this case, on its turn, you guys are going towards it. It flies out of the mana storm directly at the ship. And for just a moment, you all get a good look at it because it's no longer hidden or obscured. And this is what you guys see flying out of the cloud.
Whoa.
Nice close-up picture. It's got dragon wings. It's a medium creature. It's like a large creature, so it's got a large shape to it. But as it comes out, it looks less like a dragon and more like a dragon. Like it's got a dragon head and dragon wings, and it's got a goat head and a lion head all stitched onto the front of this weird creature. And it,
crafting is suddenly making much more sense.
and it roars, the dragon roars, and hidden within the roar of the dragon, you hear the roar of the lion and the like sort of bleeding of the goat. All, yeah, exactly, all coming together as this.
Anita, what do goats sound like again?
I heard that's what they sound like if they yell.
God.
And it like dives right at it like flies towards your ship, and then it actually goes. Let's see. I guess technically it flies, and it flies so like it goes like right over the top of the ship. So where Ruffy is kind of over the ship, but you're looking up, you can kind of see it floating just over the top of the ship. I think it probably flies right off the edge of the wing, so we'll just say it lands somewhere over here. I know both views are kind of different. This creature, it ends up just off the side of the ship. Around here.
Oh god.
But it uses all its actions just to close that distance, so that's it. Anita, you are next.
When does Nobi go?
Last.
Alright. So I'm gonna trust Nobi to shoot. Alright, so I'm gonna use 2 actions to load the ballista.
I think in the time since this thing has come, like you and Nobi have got it loaded and ready to go. There's a bullet loaded, all the actions have been spent, but the targeting reticule is currently, the targeting reticule is currently on the front of the ship, and this thing has like moved off to the side. So it's not currently aimed at it.
Okay, so I'll use an action to aim.
Okay. So you can move it up to 35 feet.
Yes.
One aim action is up to 35 feet of movement. It's a little bit unwieldy to use siege weapons.
And then I'll use my second action to launch.
Well, wait 1 second. So one move action moves Aldo 35 feet. So go ahead and move Aldo 35 feet.
Okay. 35.
It's up to you. You're moving the aiming 35 feet with one move action. With one action. So one action gets that closer. So now if you want to move it more, that's a second action.
Yeah. I don't think you could, if you wanted to move it 3 times to there, then Nolby could move and fire on Nolby's turn.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, that'll be second action there.
Yeah. Boom.
So you're able to swing it around quite a bit. Not quite enough to get it completely on the creature, but you've moved it a lot, and on Nolby's turn, she'll be able to use her actions to finish it off.
Go Nolby! That's it for my turn.
All right, back to the observation deck with Hal. What would Hal like to do?
I think Hal's going to do what Paris said and go towards the engines. Engines are down here, right?
So yeah, either one of these 2 staircases here and here will lead you up to the engine room, but you got to go. You're like 2 floors below the engine room right now.
Up. Got it. I'm thinking it's down for some reason.
Yeah, this observation deck is the bottom floor. Then you have the rooms above that. Then you have the center of the air balloon above that, and then that's where the engines are. And then above that is the catwalk up a ladder.
You said up, not out.
Yes.
I can do it. I can do it. So I will continue to run up the stairs. So that's 35. I got 25 more. And is this also up? Or is it up here?
Yeah, to get to the engine rooms, you'll want to get essentially in this hallway. all the way to the north, there's a staircase that leads up. And you can see, because Anita's already come this way, you run all the way up there and use that ladder to get up. So once you get up that ladder, that'll take you to the engine floor. All right, well, Nobi gets to go next. Nobi uses her first action to swing it over the creature, aims it right at the creature. Second action is going to be to launch. So, for this ballista, it's a reflex save for the target. Once you've targeted, once you've launched, there's no attack roll. It's just a reflex save. So this creature needs to make a reflex save, DC 19 reflex save.
Oh boy.
28 is a success, but not a critical success.
Boy.
So that means half damage. So 28 points of damage halved. So it does kind of like strike into this thing and deal 12 points of damage. 14 points of damage. Sorry, 14 points of damage. That's basically all Nobi can do. Which brings us to the top of the next round. That is Saru.
Alrighty, let's try this again. Now you are in my first range increment. Why is there an error in my macro syntax? It worked a second ago. Okay, there we go. Devise a strat. Hey!
Oh my god!
I did it! Okay, so a lot of fun things happen here.
I just manifested another crit.
For my second action, I activate the glue bullet. And I'm going to print it again. This is important because I'm going to crit them, and the flying creature is going to be immobilized. So I'm just gonna do a damage buttons.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Ugh.
42 points of damage.
Nice.
Another 42 points. Didn't you do 42 points the first crit?
Something like that. They take a minus 10-foot circumstance penalty to their speeds for the rest of their life, or 7 rounds, and they are immobilized until they escape.
Yeah, you watch as you crit, and then the bullet sort of expands and just explodes into a burst of glue, and the wings start like not working right, and this thing cannot move correctly. That's
Nice.
holy crap.
And then because that
Amazing.
happened, because shared stratagem, I designate Ruffy. They're they're immobilized, so they're flat-footed fucking anyway. Never mind. All done. As a free action, I blow smoke from the barrel of my Gisela and pass turn.
Oh my god. Yeah, if you have not put a crit in chat, you need to put a crit in chat for that one.
Now, do it.
And Ruffy.
That's interesting. Thanks, Tusks. And I shoot it.
Yeah.
And I assume it's not in my second range increment anymore.
So it's 80 feet up, so I think it's still in the second range increment. It's not far away anymore, but it's pretty high above you, yeah.
Just use 10 paces. You'll get closer.
It's already adding it.
Just 10 paces forward. Towards
I
it.
do have, that snap leaf on, so you just have to come back.
Just jump off. Man.
All right, I will shoot. Gotcha.
25 is a hit exactly because of the immobilized condition.
Nice.
Nice damage.
Ooh.
12 points of
That was
damage.
All right,
Nice.
it's still hanging on.
All right, second action, reload. Third action, why not shoot it at a map? Just for funsies.
Just for fun.
No.
Natural 20. I feel it.
Natural 20.
I feel it in my guts.
Oh,
Oh,
one off.
24,
Oh.
which is one off. The range penalty just makes it miss.
Well, sorry, I couldn't kill it. We're gonna have to fight it the rest of the time now.
I believe in gravity.
Well, yeah, that's sort of the issue, right? So a creature that flies, if it doesn't use a fly action, it starts to fall. It cannot use a fly action because it's immobilized. I believe that's how that works in this game. It has to either take an action to hover or take a move action, a fly action, neither of which it can do while it's currently immobilized.
Can it take an escape action first?
It can try to escape out of it.
That is true.
I'm trying to think.
Like a caterpillar being birthed into a butterfly.
But it wants to eat us.
Okay, it's going to try to. The only thing it can do is while it's immobilized here, it has to try to break out of it. So it's going to use its first action to break out or attempt to break out of this. The DC is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a plus 17 here. Let's see.
Yeah, we're hoping for. Ooh, boo.
So it does get out.
I mean, still 42 points of damage is.
Yeah. I no longer believe in gravity. Gravity is bullshit.
So I think it does break out of the immobilized condition.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity doesn't work because Galarian is flat.
It didn't get a critical success, so it doesn't get a free stride. So it used one action. It only has 2 actions left. I think honestly, like looking at what you guys have done to this thing, it uses its next 2 actions to just fly as far as it can back into the storm. And like away from your ship. Let me check something. Okay, no, it's not intelligent. It's hungry. Okay. It does hear from where it is, it uses its breath weapon ability.
Ooh.
It's a 60-foot line.
I'm the last one that shot it.
You are, but Saruk crit it twice.
Oh, you noble mans down there. Hit me with the lightning!
Okay, from where it is, it looks across the bow of the ship. It looks at Saruk, Anita, the ballista, everything. It lines a shot right through here. It's above you, Ref. You look up, you see the lightning rip across the top of the ship. Anita, Saruk, you guys can give me a reflex saving throw. Now, here's the thing. The ship itself also needs to make a reflex saving throw. With a piloted thing... Ooh, Saruk with both of those. 15 and a 14. They're both...
No,
I would
thank
like
you.
to use the hero point.
Go ahead. Not a critical failure, but it is a failure.
Better.
Anita also bumps it up to a failure. But not a critical failure, at least.
That's good.
Yeah, for the ship. The pilot of the ship has to make the save for the ship. So it uses Farrah's piloting skills. She's currently the pilot. So like narratively, what's happening is out of the corner of rearview mirror, she sees the lightning bolt charging up, and she throws the spinner thing that causes the whole ship to bank. We'll see if she's able to pull this off with her airship lore. So she gets a 24. So all of those are failures. Fairly low damage. Everyone takes 21 points of electricity damage.
It's not bad.
Okay, let's go.
You should see the other guy.
And you guys watch as the bolt rips across the sort of blimp part of the ship. There's a zap as it pops, and a bunch of the air in that pocket starts gushing out. That whole thing just deflates, and one section of the ship is now floating less, and you kind of feel the whole ship get heavier and start slowly descending. But that is its turn. That brings us to Anita, or it's Anita then Hal, right?
It's yeah. So 2 actions to load the ballista.
All right, so 2 actions half loads it. It needs 1 more load action to be fully loaded.
1 more full action, so all 3 actions, yeah?
It's a 2 action ability to load it, and it takes 2 of those to get it loaded. So you can't load it fully. But theoretically, Nolby could load it, finish loading it on her turn.
Okay, and then...
And it hasn't moved because it had to spend an action breaking free. It couldn't actually fly, stride anywhere, so it hasn't moved out of the square it's at.
Okay, perfect. So, and then my 3rd action would be to aid Nolby by holding on to the ballista tighter. Oh, wait, no. I would like to... I'll try to aid Nolby by... Let's see here. I don't know what it's called, but by tightening up the rope so that the tension would cause it to shoot further and hit harder.
Awesome.
So using crafting?
Crafting, 100% crafting was an awesome skill to use in this.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, Hal.
I will continue to run.
You're running, and then the whole ship banks to the side, and you slam against a wall. but you're able to keep running.
Which way is the engines down here at the bottom?
Yeah, so you're way up here at the front of the ship. The engine room is like all the way down here at the bottom. So it's pretty far away.
30. And that's my turn.
Nolby, 2 actions to load it. Third action, since Anita's got it all set up, that's going to be just a straight another shot. 2 shots in 2 rounds.
I'm aiding her as well.
Make that crafting check.
I'm doing it with assurance, so that's 24. Sorry, no, 20.
20. Okay, that's a success. Technically, she gets a circumstance bonus to the roll, but she doesn't make an active roll. But because it's an awesome visual, I will just impose a -1 circumstance penalty to the saving throw.
Whee!
So the creature gets a 24, which goes down to a 23, which is still a success. It still takes half damage.
All you need is have. Nice roll. Great
Ooh,
roll.
that's a good roll.
Great roll.
And that's gonna do it. So with that, the bolt rings out, hits the creature dead center. It screams. All 3 heads are screaming in pain as you watch as the thing just falls out of the sky down into the mana storm below. And there's that what's that fall sound effect? You got it queued up, Rick? The classic fall sound effect, the Wilhelm scream. Well, that's the Looney Tunes one.
Wilhelm scream, but goat bleats. Or that, also good.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that.
Game over.
Game over, man.
But before it's able to even lay a single breath weapon, okay, well, it did puncture the ship a little bit, but for the most part, you guys are coming out of this squeaky clean.
Ooh, that's Saruk's doing.
Yeah, the dragon / manticore creature is no longer a threat. It falls out of the sky.
I think Saruk is immediately gonna just hit the ladder,
Same.
slide down, start running to where the damage is.
So
You get down into the deck, and I guess Hal would see this because he's in there too, right above you guys. There's the way the ship's constructed is there's multiple pockets of air right in here, and each pocket is kind of kept separate from the rest. So what it looks like on one of the pockets right under the catwalk, one of these pockets in the middle section of that ship is just torn open, and you can just see the sky and the mana storm above you kind of blowing it in the wind. But the other 5 or so pockets are holding tight, and you guys don't have quite as much buoyancy and quite as much lift as you did previously, but the ship is still holding steady. You've sunk in your altitude a bit, but it does not appear that you immediately are in danger of crash landing or anything like that. More damage would have been catastrophic, and in this case there is no catastrophic damage.
We really dodged a bullet on that one, huh?
Or he did not dodge a bullet.
Damn it, Reffy.
Can you guys fix this
yes,
big tire?
I'm fine. Yes.
Are you going to climb out there? Here, hold on. Let me help you. I'm going to tie a rope around.
You see Gebin and Nolby, who are the 2 that are responsible for keeping the ship up. They're scratching their heads. They're like, "Nah, it'll be fine, boss. Don't worry. I got 5 other pillows. See them over there? They're holding fast. We can't repair it in flight. We'll need to set her down. But other than that, we're gonna get her fixed right up. No problem. We brought reserves of gas down and storage. We're gonna be good." He gives you the OK symbol.
All right, if you're sure, I'll head back up and make sure we don't have any more unwelcome company. Good shot, by the way, and head back up.
I guess we don't have to repair anymore, Hal. Whoop.
At least their sort of goblin expertise is, let's not attempt to repair this in flight. This is the kind of thing you dock to repair. They don't seem concerned for the overall structural integrity of the ship. Farah is near Reffy. Farah's watching out of the rearview mirror. She's like, "Did you get him?"
Yes.
I'm still hanging out the side. I think we all kind of got him, but Saruk shot him with some kind of, let's just say it's not fit for TV kind of bullet.
God damn it.
Oh. I don't understand what you're saying, Revi.
How long have you two been close friends? And how much do you let him out?
God damn it.
He's not a prisoner. He could go out any time he pleased.
Was it a lot or little? Was it a lot or little?
Usually we'd have to force him out because he just didn't really. Well, he would go, but for the most part, if it's like for fun or hobbies, no, he won't. He won't do it his own accord.
I knew that was his first time. All right, I'm gonna sit here and go to sleep.
Miss Farah, if you mind, could I work and tend to your wounds really quickly?
I'm fine. What are you worried about?
Please, I need your consent. If not, I'll be forced to put my hands on you because you are bleeding.
She looks down and sees like an open wound. Fine.
Thank
but I'm
you.
still. I need to be here to control the ship.
I could do that while you do that.
I think there's a shot of him like sleeping and just being tossed out of his bed during all this. But he comes down. Dezen, that's it. Dezen comes down, and Dezen takes over for Farah so you can take the time to treat her, and that's fine.
And then same with Halburn as well.
I mean, Saruk is gonna patch himself up.
Go ahead. You can all take this. You kind of like break the storm. You come out the other end of the mana storm, and as the ship kind of emerges from the like zapping clouds, you see all the color just comes back into the world. No longer is the world black and white. You look down, and everyone is back to their full color form, except for Hal, of course, which we've already established does not change.
Hal, I think you actually look paler with everything else.
I feel paler.
Oh man, Saruk, failure on the check. But I think narratively too, you guys start healing because you guys are really worried that something bad's about to happen. Because like any adventurer, everything's going to change when you're worried about your hit points. I will say that was the last of the threats between you and your journey to the Cradle of Quartz, and the next few hours pass surprisingly uneventfully. So this is the part of the adventure where you guys are your ship is supposed to crash.
Except Saruk.
Forcing you guys to make the last bit of travel on foot from the ship to the Cradle of Quartz. However, given the 2 natural 20s, the glue bullet, and everything that happened, you guys did not give it. I mean, yeah, you guys basically did not. Your ship did not get nearly damaged enough to have anything other than slightly like slower, like you just lost a little bit of air. So that being said, you guys are fast forwarding a large portion of the content because, screw you railroading, but also you just avoided the danger. And I don't want to like force the ship to crash. So I guess what happens is not what I expected and not what I was prepared for. You guys are able to complete the journey, get near where the Cradle of Quartz is. Now, the Cradle of Quartz is kind of in a canyon. I think it's called Tentacle Canyon. What Farah does is they kind of bring the ship and park it slowly like outside the edge of the canyons where there's more space for the ship to land, and sort of docks it there where they can do the repairs, and just kind of points off to the distance, and you see large canyons. There's like large cliff faces and like canyons that kind of snake in and out. And as she blows this cloud of smoke in your face, there we go, Tentacle Canyon. If the cradle is anywhere, these are the coordinates you gave me. It's got to be in there. We're gonna stick here. We're gonna repair the ship, get her ship tip-top shape. We'll wait for your return.
Very good.
If you're not back in, shall we say, 2 hours? How long do you think you need before we leave you?
You need wait till we return, please.
All right, but if it's...
You never know. There might be more strange draconic beings out there that you might need the new resident snipers, Saruk. blows across the barrel of his Giselle again.
I'm no fool. There's a chance you're not coming back, so let's set a maximum wait time here. A week. If you're not back in a week, can we go back?
Sure. 7 days you can go.
7 days sounds fair. And she shakes your hand on it, which gives you guys a minute to sort of gather all of your stuff and prepare to journey to the cradle. And as we sort of move from that phase to this, I wasn't expecting you to do this mid-session, but guys, you're leveling up right now.
Yes!
Oh my god.
So we can either
leveling up on stream and talking about our characters for everybody.
Yeah, do we want to? So we're pretty close to break. We could take an early break and let you guys level up the characters and come back, or we could spend a little bit of time talking through your choices you're gonna make. What do you guys feel?
Just a character creation episode.
Saruk has been done since like December, so it's just
Really?
path builder.
I still gotta look.
When I say done, then new content comes out. I'm like, what if this instead?
What about that one other thing?
You
What
know,
about my
Annie,
decision paralysis?
Level
it's good we
6.
took an airship, right? If we had taken a train, I feel, just would have taken much longer by railroad.
Mm.
Shut the fuck up.
No. That deserves a break.
Oh my god!
And jump cut to the break. Support them on
Oh my
Patreon,
God.
and the stuff give them money.
Yeah,
Money
that
is
was
good.
a good segue. That was a good way. Yeah, let's just. I mean, how do we top that line? That's
You don't.
So we're just go. Yeah, let's go to break. What a surprise! We're leveling up early. Keep the GM on his toes. While we're at break, take some time, as Tommy said, to support us here at Recon Knowledge. You can head over to twitch.tv/Recon Knowledge. You give us a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, toss it our way. Also, check out youtube.com/Recon Knowledge. Guys, you know what we did today? We hit 2,000 subs finally. 2,000.
Nice.
On YouTube. That's amazing. We crossed that threshold. And as we said, we asked our community, what would you guys like when we hit 2,000 subs? And they voted overwhelmingly for a live stream on YouTube directly. And Ninna has been excited to run her first session of something. So we might have Ninna run something directly on YouTube.
Baby GM. Excellent.
We don't know yet, but we're working on some details. Maybe we'll try bringing one of our Wednesday night streams on YouTube directly just as a test too. Could be fun. Maybe first stream next year we'll just run it on YouTube directly. That could be fun. We're figuring it out. But head over there and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It's a great place to catch our future past shows, etc. Check us out on patreon.com/Recon Knowledge. We have map packed out every month. You get early access to all of our shows, including all the episodes of Bastion that are not released anywhere yet, all of the episodes of A House Divided that are not released anywhere yet, and every episode of Punks in a Powder Keg, Cradle of Quartz, and our Outlaws of Alkenstar preview game, The Birth of the Outlaws, are all available at your fingertips to our patrons. So we're going to be back in maybe not 10 minutes, maybe a little more of a break tonight. We'll be back in around 15 minutes to give you guys a chance to look at your characters with some more Outlaws of Alkenstar, and we're going to take our first steps into the Cradle of Quartz as we move from Chapter 2 to Chapter 3. It's going to be exciting. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to Outlaws of Alkenstar. We had a bit of a longer break than usual because we had a lot of character choices to make, and everyone was like, I know, okay, to quote, I know exactly what my character's done. It's been done for a long time, followed by, I'm making a last-minute change.
It wasn't
That's
a
how it
last minute change. It was just a change I forgot I was making. And then it happened, and things.
But thanks for bearing with us. We didn't expect to level up mid-session, so I think we're doing pretty well, all things considered. We open up on the shot, right? The second kiss is moored. It's docked right in the outsets of the technical canyon. Everyone on board is kind of outside looking at the damage. We got Nolby and Gavin who are starting to do the very minimal repairs necessary to get the ship back to full tip-top shape. Meanwhile, our outlaws are inside sort of getting everything prepared because you guys realize that you are heading from the ship into the Cradle of Quartz, which you guys have had your eyes set on for the last 4 days and the last 6 sessions or so. I think it's been quite a while. Thank you, That Guy I'm an Escape, for the Prime 14-month resub. That is awesome.
Thanks, that guy.
That guy skate.
we'll cut back to you guys waking up, getting last minute preps. You guys hit level 6 in a very interesting spot, mechanically speaking. Like there was no like big revelation. It's like the airship lands and you guys go to sleep and wake up like the Undertaker, like super refreshed with new abilities. But I just think narratively, you guys have been working on this stuff in your spare time and the downtime for,
I like the notion that Saruk has been beating himself up a lot for all of the times when decisive action might have, helped his friends put things down faster, and there's constant missing followed by beat yourself up out behind the barrel and bullet training, which has then, with said training, come to fruition in this moment when people are in danger and it's just blow down.
That is an awesome thought. And even Saruk, out of character, Tommy was like in chat before the game starts, like, man, I'm manifesting this moment.
I did. I put little star emojis on it and fucking everything.
Yeah. And you and Saruk, both of your like things all aligned perfectly for that moment. And so is there any, like, there's a narrative beat here as you guys have last minute to prepare, prepare your packs, any gear you need to take, any last minute preparation before you have to head in to find the Cradle of Quartz within Tentacle Canyon. Is there anything you guys would like to, any moments between each other before we set out?
Prior to landing, Anita would have been doing like, you've noticed ever since she became like this weird hybrid that she's been a little bit more, not necessarily doting, but she always makes sure that, all right, so the day has started. Here is your moderate, here's your lightning bottle, here is your elixir, and then she goes ahead and straightens up all the ablative like paddings that, like Saruk, Ruffy, and Hal has. I think it's more of like she's covering up her mini PTSD with just working. That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. She doesn't go to the kitchen a lot because there's fire in there. That's pretty much it.
Saruk probably spends most of, I think, when it's not literally we're sleeping on the way there, just like up in the crow's nest, cutting a profile against the mana waste, just silently watching and contemplating the things about to happen from above everybody else, silent Overwatch style.
Yeah, and I think Hal's probably doing leg lifts, doing this motion up and down the middle of the ship, just trying to get some.
That's Saruk's morning routine. Have you been watching Saruk wake up?
Just got to keep doing those cat phrases.
Work out together.
Yeah, CrossFit.
So I'm trying to recreate the drink that Lucky made for me because I actually really liked it.
Well, you got all the ingredients there, that's for sure. It's just figuring out which ones they were.
I picture Reficule smelling them, and if it smells sweet, he pours it in, and then he takes the next one and smells it, and like pours it in, and takes the next one, and then it's like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, the first ones are just pretty much syrup and like grain alcohol.
I think, let me ask this, Hal, like the last 3 days of journey, have you been sharing the room with Celessa as offered? And has there been any, like, what does the goodbye between Hal and Celessa look like?
I think it's probably like the first night he was really hurt, and so he's like, I'm really hurt. I'm just going to sit here. And I think Anita would be coming in every once in a while and checking. And then the next day when he's all patched up, she would probably come in and he would just be going to sleep because he'd been staying up in the middle of the night on watch with Ruffy and getting hammered. And then probably when he'd come in the afternoon for our nap, like Celeste would disappear during dinner, and then Anita would walk in and they'd be knocked out on the bed, like together, just knocked out, sleeping. Nothing overly suggestive, but just like friends when you used to spend the night and you'd sleep on each other's beds.
Ruffy, you wouldn't believe what I saw when I walked into Halbrand's room.
What?
Oh no, I thought it was sweet. It was just he was taking a nap with Celessa.
Really now?
Yeah. It took me a while to figure it out. I didn't know. I was trying to understand why she was there all the time. But now I feel like I think I do understand. Maybe they shared something special before. That's why they're that comfortable with each other.
Like they killed someone together.
Probably. That's what I think too. I mean, they were both shield marshals. I think. You know what? Or maybe we should just ask Halbrand if he has the time. Or Celessa.
Yeah, sure.
Is that alcohol that I smell on you? This early?
I think that's licorice. Not really sure.
Uh,
It's a bit sweet even for me.
Really?
Almost. And I take another shot of it.
Oh, I don't know how you all get to do that all the time, every day.
It's like a bright neon green liquid in the glass.
That looks like gasoline.
Might be. Not really sure.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's like a shot of like Celesta that comes up to Hal as Hal's getting ready to leave, and she looks really awkward. She's kind of like, putting her hand. She doesn't know what to do with her hands, and she's kind of like, yeah. You put your hand up for a high five, and there's like a very like enthusiastic high five between the two of you, and she's just like, "Come back safe, Tiger."
I thought he was a wolf. Don't worry about it.
And then they like sort of split up. You just see.
Finally, like, it stopped being in complete black and white, and there's like red on his
You see-
cheeks, and he leaves.
You see the same like on Celesta's, like her greenish cheeks are like getting a little bit flushed as she sort of smiles to herself. She walks away. I think Saruk, you have like the two, like the halfling merchant. They come up to you, and they're like, "Sir, I heard something. The crew was talking that you guys are going to some sort of cradle or something. Like, we're not entirely sure what that is. Like, is that what we came out here for?"
It's what we did. Something we've got to investigate. Don't worry about it.
I mean, is there a business opportunity that we might be able to get our hands involved in?
No, I very much doubt it. Just some stuff for some people who know some people. If I find something that I think might make for a lucrative investment, I'll let you know.
That's a deal. We'll just sit tight. And
Yeah.
We didn't, we heard what you did, and we wanted to thank you for stopping that attack.
Like I said, and then taps badge again.
Right. Duty, honor, all of that, but still on a personal level. You're in our debt. We're in your debt.
Sure. You can pay that back by not getting eaten while I'm not here. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan. And there's like a laugh. They seem very relaxed compared to how they were pretty earlier in the journey. Yeah, Anita, there's like a tap on your shoulder. There's like a, so you're really going in there, kid? And it's Gattleby.
Yes, do you want to go? Actually, no, don't say yes to that.
I'm not stepping off the ship. He hands you like a folded up piece of paper, puts it in the palm of your hand, just in case you find anything. And any of this could be useful to us. And then he doesn't know what to do, so he just kind of like gives you like a little noogie on your head and then walks away.
Professor, I have a question for you. Do you know...
As he's noogieing you.
Yeah, do you know who Shaman Lycerium is?
That asshole back at the bar that Phoebe brought in, right? He hung out with... He wouldn't shut up for days.
That's true. But part of him, he became partly because of you. I'm not sure if that was stated.
I mean, jealousy makes people do all kinds of crazy things, but it is the driver of invention, is it not? Always striving for greatness.
Because of jealousy? I guess whatever motivates you to be better, right?
We all have someone that we're jealous of, and we all have someone we're trying to prove we're better than.
I'm not jealous of anyone.
But when you're at the top like me, everyone's going to look up at you.
Sure. I'm mentioning it because I can't help but think that because of how he felt about you, even though it was done very indirectly, it was sort of still part of why what happened to me happened.
I guess I never really looked at it that way. Bolt, kid. You really think I'm responsible for your failures?
My failures? What do you mean? No. I'm saying that one person, I don't know where he is now, but one person was driven so mad because I guess of jealousy, yeah, sure. Like until now. I don't know, maybe it just rubbed me off the wrong way when you called him an asshole.
He was an asshole, objectively speaking.
He is, but coming from you, it kind of rubs me off the wrong way because you are the reason why he became what he became.
It's a very dangerous line of thinking, kid. All we can do is be the best that we can possibly be, and what other people, the choices they make, that's not our responsibility.
That's true.
Besides, this is very clearly an upgrade to the student that I had in class so long ago, or worked alongside in the lab. Get up, you got going.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just, it was one of the things that I thought of. It's pretty quiet here at the airship. You get to think a lot.
Just don't get yourself killed again.
I'm trying not to. What is this anyway?
It's 3 simple words. It says mana waste salt.
Mana weight, like a conductor, a condiment. Well,
Make a diplomacy check.
okay.
Let's see how well you've got Galloway to like you in this conversation. how much of an impression you've made, or how much you've improved your status with Galloway.
23.
Nice, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I think he smiles, looks down, looks at you, and in his eyes, he likes you more than he used to. So he just says, a stabilizer. Not just a stabilizer, kid. The stabilizer.
All right. I'll keep it hush-hush, too.
And then he goes ahead and leaves. All right, I think we're ready to hit the old dusty trail here. So we go ahead and we exit the ship. You guys kind of wave goodbye. Any other last minute stuff you guys want to do before it's time to go? Because otherwise the ship starts shrinking in the distance as you guys kind of disappear into the maze of the canyon.
I look to the group. We have enough to eat here for the next 7 days. I mean, I can gather some more lizard tails out here in the desert for up to 5 of us. Look at Saruk.
Yeah, I think we ought to be fine. If not, we'll figure it out.
Annie,
Yes.
saw you talking
Okay.
with Gattleby back there.
Yeah.
Saw your facial expressions.
Yeah.
Can I shoot him yet?
Oh. I don't, maybe, no. No. Not maybe, no.
Sure, just glares and says nothing.
I'll be waiting. And I walk off.
I think he'll walk up next to Hal and be like, Hal will lean in and be like, don't take all the fun. Just look back and pull out his sword and start walking towards the cradle, like looking for footprints and tracks and trying to find stuff in the desert sand.
I step next to Saruk, and then I say, Saruk. And then I pull out the letter that Gattleby gave me. Professor Gattleby asked me to, let him know if we find these Manaway salts. Apparently, it's the stabilizer for, And I'm thinking, with all the harm that it's already done, should I say anything if we do find it? What do you think?
A stabilizer isn't like a reagent. Not like
Yep.
something for a mood. I mean, if you told Gattleby that you found it and you gave it to him, what do you think Gattleby would do with it?
Honestly, nothing. because he just wants to make the best version of his invention. However, even with the drafts that he has now, people are already going crazy over it. What more if they find out that he has like a better, much more improved version?
By that very logic, we should turn in our guns, because people who we don't want to have guns will probably want to have guns like our guns, right? I see where you're coming from. I think perhaps better in the long term to make sure that those who wish to imitate the genius, eye rolls, who we brought with us, we either make sure they have good intentions, or as in when they do not have good intentions, I would say we'd let Alkenstar sort it out, but I'm gonna be stuck here forever, aren't I?
Sorry. You have us?
That is true. And I don't know, Pal's friend seems misguided and could be doing much more, but I think her part is in about 2% of the right place. I'm maybe dreaming too big for Alkenstar at large, but yeah, no, it's if something bad happens because of something that someone made, it's only the fault of that someone if that someone did it. Is that helpful?
Yes. Alright, so I'll still look for it. And I'll be honest, if I do find it, I'll tell them.
I'll keep an eye out too. Maybe we can use it for whatever else we get roped in after this.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because if it's that great of a stabilizer for Pyronite, what more for other things?
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out something that explodes can also cause... I'm preaching to the choir on the science. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That merchant couple that we brought with us, they were also looking for, how did they put it, keen business opportunities, which I suppose it very well could be.
The salts?
Yeah, if there's a bunch of it out here. Or is that what Galaby was implying, or is it just if you happen to see this thing that exists out here sometimes?
I think that's what he's implying, and then if we do find it, maybe bring a little bit of it back.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And when we bring a little bit back, we tell Galaby, we maybe hold on to some for ourselves, depending on quantity, and go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, it does.
The group of outlaws meander their way in a short montage towards the Tentacle Canyon in search of the Cradle of Quartz. There's like a lot of long overhead shots of like footprints in the stand, like the long shadows being cast across the desert. Super weird, sort of like mana storms blowing through. But you're protected from the brunt of the storms here within the canyon walls. The high cliffs that are around you sort of shields from the worst of the effects. And it's not too long, like only a few hours of like making your way into the canyon, when you kind of are like blinded by like a glint of blue that sort of like catches your eye. And as you sort of like shield your eyes and look, this sort of image here that we see on the landing screen, this is what you guys come across. Up ahead of you, one wall of the curved canyon is carved into this elaborate facade, visible even at this great distance that you are at. Pillars, circles, geometric patterns, they all give the impression of an entrance into a giant temple that looks built right into one of the cliff faces. And even at this far away, set at the bottom of this crystal, towering bronze double doors glint off the sunlight, reflecting and drawing your eye, basically drawing you, beckoning you, calling for you to come in to this place. And sort of, even as you get closer, you can see sort of bas reliefs with the face of the Whisperer in bronze, the lady herself. She adorns this. She watches you enter her temple and stares across the desert from above the doors. You guys have undoubtedly found what you were looking for. welcome to the Cradle of Quartz. So we'll update the landing page to chapter 3. This is well, I like the other one better for the Cradle of Quartz. This is just a scary art. I don't think this is. I'm sure it's not.
Leave iconic inventor
My
alone.
goodness.
Yeah, no, the poor iconic inventor. So this is what they give for the Cradle of Quartz as the landing page. But
Swebbert's gonna die here.
No, just you again.
Yep, just as a recap too, because it's been a while since we really discussed this, right? To recap why you guys are here at the Cradle of Quartz. So at the beginning of this adventure, at this sort of chapter of the Cradle of Quartz, you were tasked with finding a scientist named Kosawana, Olivan Kosawana, who was believed to have been potentially figuring out the pyronite recipe. You went and investigated a bunch of loud explosions at his place and found that there had been a scuffle, and these group called the Bumblebees, or potentially the Gilded Gunners, depending on who you want to listen to, potentially had tried to abduct him. He had gotten on the back of one of his mechanical creations, a weird flying cat-like creature, and flown out of Alkenstar due east towards this direction. You guys put together a bunch of clues, and he seemed to have left you guys a secret coded message as a reference to a passage long deleted in the holy book in the temple and the logic of design, which talked about a secret temple, the Cradle of Quartz, along with directions and coordinate locations to it. So, in order to, you guys believe that Olivan Kosawana had, for whatever reason, come here to the Cradle of Quartz to avoid his pursuers. And you have tracked him down. You chartered an airship, and you finally reached here at the Cradle of Quartz. So you're here hoping to find Olivan Kosawana and find out what happened, what he knows, who was after him, and potentially get him before the Bumblebees or the Gilded Gunners are able to. That was your hope, because if he has uncovered the secret to pyronite, you do not want it falling into the wrong hands. And so that has brought us to the Cradle of Quartz, where you guys stand here, staring upon the great temple.
Is there any obvious tracks in the desert that we can identify as being particularly dangerous, or anything that might show us that there might be certain predators or other creatures existing inside?
Yeah. You're talking about on the travel towards the Cradle of Quartz?
Towards the temple, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a perception check to see what we can find? And or is there a survival skill that's tied into this?
Yeah,
I know
there's a survival skill.
So if you have tracks, you can use survival to follow tracks. We can, if you find tracks, yeah. We'll start with perception.
Oops, there's supposed to be
We'll start with perception.
Holy Jesus.
hidden, but that's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Nice. So, the entire desert stand between here and the front, as you're scouting and looking for any signs, there's actually no footprints in the sand at all. The sand looks completely undisturbed. There's no signs of footprints. There's no sign of slithering tracks. You're not sure if potentially something about this place seems to have deterred the local wildlife from coming near it. It feels eerily desolate compared to what you might expect in a region like this. But with a natural 20, I think there is a sort of faint movement you see on the temple quartz itself, and it's just the little smallest flitter of a wing, and you do notice that there appears to be a strange looking creature, a flying creature that has perched on the front of this temple. And with this natural 20, you get the impression that there is there are some flying creatures in the area that might pose a threat to you. In fact, with a natural 20, I'm just going to go ahead and share what they look like.
Is it time to snipe something else out of the air?
What?
Chimkin. So I think when we get to where Seoni was and the splash screen for the last book, or somewhere that's not immediately outside the door for danger's sake, Saruk is going to start pulling out the various cogs and bits and bobs from the adaptive armor plating that he bought, and go ahead and take the 10 minutes before we go in to apply it. Just quietly reciting over and over again, "My heart is my strength. Those who fight without love fight for nothing." Clack goes on something. "My bonds are my strength." Clack. "Those who fight for no one." Clack. "Fight alone." And then over for the 10 minutes.
And as we're approaching, I imagine he's doing that. I'll stop and kind of gesture towards these creepy looking birds and, say, keep it down a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it looks like the ones up top, they just seem kind of like, it seems like this is a good, like there are some nooks and crannies here where they like hide in the shade and sort of get cover from the harsh sunlight here. And as you get a little closer, you can see that it looks like there is a pack of these things that has made sort of a small, I wouldn't call it a nest per se, but they are like sort of near the front door, the big double bronze doors, kind of in the nook where it's shaded, and they seem to all be hanging out there and just relaxing in the shade. But they are right between you guys and the front of the temple.
Maybe if you can make a noise. Are they dangerous? Would I know or think they're dangerous, other than the screenshot I saw?
You can make a recall knowledge check once you've seen it to see what you know. It could be either nature, or if you have more specific lore, like mana waste lore.
I have mana waste lore.
And what kind of information would you be trying to ascertain out of your recall knowledge?
Are these creatures predators, prey, or just beasts out here?
Got it. And do you have any lore modification skills related to this, like Saruk had earlier?
I do not.
Unfortunately, you are not familiar with what these creatures are. Whatever these are, they seem to be something common, maybe out here in deep in the Spellscar Desert, but not something you've come across and not something you have any immediate knowledge of. But if you were to look at them based on just your general knowledge of like what a predator and what a prey looks like in the mana waste, I mean, this definitely looks like a predator more than anything. But other than that, you don't know any specifics.
I think, Reticule, I think maybe they got some big teeth. If you can see them from here, kind of glitting in the sunlight, those that aren't hiding in the shadows. Maybe you fire a warning shot near them. Don't shoot them, but maybe it'll shoo them away. That kind of happens out here if they're typically prey, but I'd say be ready in case they're predators, and we have to either go more offensive or hide.
Out comes the backpack ballista. Up comes the shield.
Skirts over and attempts to hide.
I'm always ready.
I don't know where point is, but I would like to take it.
Am I seeing Kosuano's like bird eagle clockwork device that he used to go here?
Yeah, give me a perception check as you search for it.
Yeah, we deserve that. Thank you.
With a secret roll that you can't see.
Question marks.
Question mark.
There is actually no sign of that creature here at all. I mean, granted, you can't see much, but from outside looking in, it doesn't look like that. Whatever that is, it doesn't seem posted outside this place. It's not in any space between you and the temple that you can see. Potentially inside the temple, but you don't have eyes inside it.
Okay. I would also like to mount Wybert.
Yeah, I put you on Wybert, so you should be mounted now.
So this here, is that like a door or a window or a ledge or?
Oh yeah. So I'll go ahead and read that off now that we're kind of getting into this space. Let's see, this outside part, it looks like they're very tiny windows. It's not, a window would be generous. This is basically a slit that kind of goes from outside in, and you can see a pulsing blue light inside the dark walls of this temple. And the way that the sunlight is kind of catching it and almost reflecting off the quartz crystals down, it draws your eyes like to it. And you are able to see in. It's not big enough for you to climb through. It is only like a few inches wide, but it does provide natural light in. And if you'd like to peek in, you could, peek in and see what's in there.
I think I'm more concerned with the clear and present. As sort of nods over towards these. If someone's in there who doesn't want us to be out here, that's a hell of a sight line.
Yes, for sure. This would definitely give good sight to anything trying to approach the temple.
Must stay in front of Reficule.
So is Refi trying to startle these things away, or what's the plan? I know that was what Hal had mentioned. Or are we just approaching to fight? How are you guys approaching this?
I go to draw my pistol, and if no one says any different, I'll fire a shot over their heads.
This feels like an intimidate check now.
Yeah, with group coercion. Ooh. Oh, and with a clue in. What are your leads currently, Saruk? That's a good question.
Oh, God, thank you. Kosawana and that part where I was leveling and didn't think about my daily preparation? Wild. Let me probably. Yeah, that's tempting. I know you just gave us a recap and it was really good. But one more time, the thing with the code and the 23 that has a specific name.
The Logic of Design and code 227.
Code 227 is the other one then.
So yeah, let's go ahead and do an intimidate check here, Ruffy. And we can go ahead and use that brand new group coercion feat you took.
Right, are we doing it at any increment then? Because I'm a bit far away.
Yeah, so it's fine. Try somebody.
I think your gunshot is we're using the gunshot as the intimidate sound. This is kind of a case. It's not a combat use of the skill, so let's go ahead and just use it and see what happens.
Saruk beats his gauntlet on his breastplate and roars.
Gotcha.
Is your bonus still a +1, Saruk? Or what's
Yeah,
your
it should be.
bonus?
Yeah, it's a free aid, basically.
29 then.
29. These things have a will save of 18. That's a critical success.
Nice.
So I think with the loud, boom, the loud explosion, here in the quiet, these creatures that aren't used to this sort of noises, I think immediately they all scurry to their feet and just sort of fly up off the porch of this thing, and they fly up and they all take perch in the sort of crystal cradle facade that was carved above it. So all these creatures immediately fly up and leave the porch. They're still nested above and looking down at you guys, but they seem very interested in keeping some distance between you and them.
Now all of Jaha knows we're here. Let's move quickly.
It was very loud.
I'm just gonna to the door.
I use a running reload as we're striding over.
Anita, as you kind of approach this front landing, you've been looking for any sign of Kosawana's creature. You don't see any sign of the creature itself, but here, in the sort of sandy steps leading up to this, you do see almost a big indentation in the dirt, something heavy landed here, and then you see sort of heavy footprints leading up towards the double doors.
We're on the right track, it seems.
Yeah.
As you sort of entrance, right, the wide paved road covered by blown sands lead to a 2-level platform set before the temple's entrance. A stone shelf above the entry provides shade, which is where these creatures were shading. The double store is 10 feet tall, made of weather-beaten bronze, and the walls surrounding the bronze portal are inscribed with an intricate network of gears that circle the doorway and cover all of the visible surface. Massive crystalline spears of ice blue quartz jut from the surrounding cliffs, and several window shafts cut into the face of the cliff show only darkness beyond. Otherwise, you found the entrance to the Temple of Quartz.
So Surg is going to approach the door. I think it's very obvious to tell despite the "let's fucking go" that's written on him. There's a sort of, not hesitation, but like concern ripples through him as he reaches up to the front of the door. I probably shouldn't have done this alone last time. You still there?
You feel a sort of tingling that emanates from deep within you, Saruk. A connection to the divine beyond that has recently been strengthened. And you all watch as sort of seemingly out of nothing, Kijak sort of just appears, like springing forth from Saruk and like standing in the space next to him.
As I manifest my Eidolon. Best day
Glance
ever.
towards Reficule, like what?
That just came out of nowhere.
Am I a bit more hungover than I thought?
You're not hungover enough.
Saruk, where are we? You said keep an eye on the boy.
I did. I'm gonna have to trust to the kid's instincts for now. Keeping eyes on him in the short term doesn't help if I'm gone in the long term. What do you think of this door? Look safe? It's weird to narrate for the NPC who I'm gonna roll perception for Kijak and then I'm gonna aid Kijak.
Yep, go for it.
Okay.
I think honestly, now that the Eidolon is like, since Kijak is part of you, I think more so than ever, like Kijak's actions are definitely directly under your control.
So then 22.
He doesn't say it appears to be trapped. He seems to think it looks safe. There's nothing apparently dangerous about it. Although he does stop and you see his like ears sort of twinge a little bit and he says, there's definitely movement beyond something on the other side of the door. I can hear it, like twitching of the ears.
Up comes the shield. Stay behind us. Everyone ready?
Everyone's in the right positions they want to be in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and then just runs in with the shield.
Oh my god.
Hi!
Yeah, so we'll start with the quick description of what the room looks like, right? This hexagonal chamber.
Do you see?
Nothing good.
Oh, can you not see from where? Oh, Hal can't see from where he is. That's funny. The hexagonal chamber evokes the shape of a crystal, with perfectly flat walls rising 20 feet high, angling inward towards the chamber's center, and meeting at a central point 40 feet above the floor. So it's a pretty sizable chamber. The walls are inset with flat crystal faces and decorative patterns that mimic a humanoid form composed of gears and wheels. There's 2 sets of corridors leading towards either side of the bronze doorway, partially obscured by tattered scraps of rotted curtains. And at the eastern end of the room is an angular dais with 3 stone steps carved from the quartz itself. But that's not what your eyes are all on, right? Your eyes are all on the creature you see standing before you in the middle of the room. A large clockwork sphinx creature.
Oh no.
Sorry, Steve. I would have been here in front of Annie.
So the door opens. There's like the creature sort of like stands to attention, and you can just hear the gear start moving. All its joints, it's things that stands up at attention. There's the clicking of the clockwork, and it just looks in your direction and just does like it opens its mouth, and there's like a voice box crystal resonating deep roar that like threatens you guys not to come near it.
So I don't think Saruk stopped moving when shield hits door running forward at it. Roars in kind.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. In that case, then go ahead and roll initiative for me, everyone.
Ah, she's big.
She's big. So we do have the scouting bonus.
You do have the scouting bonus,
Okay.
yes.
It won't let me roll again.
Do good.
I will take it.
Why the chocolate?
Ooh.
Sheesh.
Another
sorry,
crit
sorry,
from
sorry, not
Farouk.
sheesh. Damn.
Sheesh, it's good. We can sheesh all day today.
And that's a natural
Dang.
one from Refi.
A natural one from Refi. Up first.
All right, y'all know this. Devise stratagem.
All right. It's going to be a 23.
I think I'm good to not. Yeah, there's not a sight or not a good line to hit anything that's important because there's a door that we're violently pushing out of the way. So rather, I'm just gonna run up to this thing's face for my second action, and then third action, raise my shield. Kijak stays where they are and just drops down low like a cat about to pounce.
Right. And Kijak doesn't get. You have to give an action to him. He doesn't have.
Yeah. So with the summoner archetype, I don't have tandem actions, so we split R3.
That brings us to the Sphinx. You do not heed its warning, so it will basically strike at you. First action. Well, we'll say first action is it's going to use its sort of like voice box to try to target, intimidate you, with its angry roar. Natural 1 for a -4. It's like this voice box. It sounds ridiculous. It is not very good at what it's trying to do. I think, yeah, -4. Natural 1 -5. It has a terrible charisma, and it has no intimidation skill. Second action is going to be to claw strike at you.
No.
That's a 30.
That will hit. I will use my reaction to block. God, then the D12s come out.
2d12, so it's 28 points of slashing damage.
So then I hit block and then I hit damage, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
Nice. So that is exactly the armor that I bought in one shot.
That's a good point. And then its final action is to map for 24, and that's a miss thanks to the shield raise. All right, that brings us to Hal.
I think seeing Saruk rush in, Hal's going to quickly rush behind him. And he's going to try to move 40 feet to get around this creature. Imagine I can do it with my movement if I go around.
Yeah, you could have gone around it. You got plenty of space.
As you see Hal move deftly and more quickly, and he's adopted that running pose as he runs past the creature. Thinks first action is snagging strike.
Okay, it is flat-footed from the flanking.
Nice.
Nice.
30
That'll hit, not a crit.
or 13 damage.
And this is snagging strike, so it's flat-footed because of as long as it's next to you, right?
Yeah, and I have Titan Wrestler, so I can go up to 3 times larger.
Yeah, you can definitely wrestle this thing. That is for sure.
And I think, I think I'm going to dueling parry. I don't know. It's my turn.
That brings us to Anita.
All right, so I'm gonna give Wybert 2 actions so that he could use 3, and he will charge in here.
Because Wybert also has 40 feet of movement now.
Mm-hmm. Right here, so that Refi won't be blocked. Is that still 40 feet? Okay. Okay, cool. And then Wybert smash.
Nice.
26 to hit.
6 is a hit.
Sweet. Damage. Oh, 15 points of damage. Wow, he's barely injured.
He had resistance 10 to your damage.
No.
If only we were like level fucking 17 and really rich so we could get Orichalcum weapons, huh? Wouldn't that be fucking
Right?
something?
So this is 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and it resists 10 of that.
Damn, okay. Bottled lightning. Good to know.
I think Weber has one more action.
Yeah, I'll map attack it. 25 to hit.
Nice.
You also have that feat where you have standard cover anytime you're on a Wyvern, right?
Lesser cover, yeah. 7 points. Yeah. bludgeoning.
Not enough to bust through the physical resistance, and it just the blow glances off the thick plating of this thing.
Yeah, so Anita would grab a moderate lightning bottle. I might use this on our friend right here, unless you both are okay with being in its splash area.
You see Saruk is reaching to the bandolier for his own bottled lightnings.
All right. And that's it for my turn. I have a bottled lightning in my hand.
Yep. Go ahead. Did you go ahead and do that in your inventory so it marks it too? Just like put it in your hand. Oh, you got one. Or you got a lesser one in your hand. I don't know if that's the one you want. Rough kill.
Right, so I shouldn't get right up close to him then.
Unless you want to get hit.
Right, so I'll use my free action to stride closer to an enemy that I can see. 25 feet. So that's 20. I guess I'd just go here. That'd be 20. I already have my pistol out. I guess I'll just shoot.
It is flat-footed thanks to the snagging strike.
Nice.
Critical hit, I believe.
That is a critical hit. It doesn't even need a natural 20. It's just a critical hit.
Not the greatest of damage.
Not the highest rolls. It is resistant 10 to this damage, so it takes 11.
And I needed to make a fortitude saving throw.
Oh, you do need to make a fortitude saving throw.
Yes.
That is it's a success.
Plus 18. Christ. Alright.
Christ has left the chat. There is only Majagua.
Well, I can't get closer to it, so I guess I'll just reload for my second action. And shoot it again.
Standard reload.
Standard reload, because I
Alright.
was told not to get close. Map attack.
That's a hit.
Nice.
Oh, it won't get through its resistance though.
Just deflects off the resistance.
We need that like 1950s Western ricochet sound effect on that soundboard. Just
And that's my turn, and I go, all right, whatever you're gonna do, please do it, because I'd really like to get close to this thing.
All right, Saruk.
your logic is concerning. All right, devise a stratagem. What do the dice? What the fuck?
That's another
Oh
natural
my
20.
gosh, that's what, your fourth?
Let's go, Saruk.
At least,
I'm
yeah.
so good at
Whoa.
Pathfinder.
You are so good at
Okay, so I'm gonna
Pathfinder.
fire a backpack ballista in this guy's fucking face.
There we go. You've left open that spot, so backpack ballista it is.
Nice. Okay, so first action without second action is I assume a 34 is a critical hit.
Well, yeah, especially because you got a natural 20. It's definitely a critical hit.
Eat shit.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. 50 damage.
That's more than the dragon.
That's more than the dragon.
So that's 50 points of damage. It is resistant 10, but it does take 40.
Goodness.
I softened him up for you a bit there, Saruk.
I'm sure you did. And we can take the lightning, Anita. Don't worry. And then third action
All
is
right.
Ray Shield. And pass turn.
Okay. Amazing. Another crit. Okay, it continues to grind. It's like chest plates grinding. It's got like all kinds of mechanical gears. It's being like surrounded, and I think first target it's gonna like swipe at Saruk. Actually, yeah, it can't even, because you guys are surrounded, it can't even step away from Hal's snagging strike. Because even where it steps, it's still within range. Okay, it's going to use an action that it has called Pounce. It's one action and allows it to stride and strike. So it will attempt to stride away, which will trigger a reaction, an opportunity attack. I think Hal is the only one that has opportunity attack, right?
I'll take it.
Yep, go ahead and take it. The 19 is going to be a miss.
Can I use a hero point?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, you can.
he's a hero point.
Heck.
Even worse.
Oh, down to a 2.
That was a 20.
You need to back your token up. I can't share space with me.
Yep, it moves away from your it kind of breaks away from your grip, Hal, runs straight away from you, hits the wall, and in the one kind of crazy gliding motion, like all its gears and legs like invert as it turns itself around and just pounces right back at Saruk. So that's one action.
Nice.
24
Plus
is a
20?
miss thanks to the
Oh my
shield
God.
raise.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, I mean, second action is going to just do another claw strike. 32.
I will block it.
23 points of damage with the block.
The gears on the shield shatter.
Last action is just going to continue to map attack. Doesn't have much else on the stat block to do. That's it. It misses. All right, Hal.
I'm gonna delay.
Okay. I like it. Tactical thinking. Hal is delaying. That brings us to Anita.
I'm sorry, Saruk. And then I'm gonna throw my moderate lightning for one action.
Yep. Go ahead and target it. Throw that bottle.
Bottle be thrown. 30.
30. That's a
A
hit.
hit. Okay. So it will take 9 points of damage.
9 points of electricity
and it becomes
damage, right?
flat-footed until the start of my next turn. Yes, electricity.
Okay, so 9 points of damage. It takes 10 points of extra damage thanks to its weakness to lightning.
Okay.
And then the splash damage deals 2. Takes that to 12 points of splash damage. And yes, it is flat-footed until the start of your next turn. And you can just see it like jolted, and it's like the electricity is making its gears not work as easy. It looks really weak to that electricity.
All right. And then I would give Wybert one action. So he has 2, and he's going to move right. Ooh, oh, too far. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I think
Wybert fast.
that would give Hal space. Move! It won't move.
As Annie throws that and it's super effective, I go, should I do the same thing?
Yes, if you have it, you do have it.
All right, maybe don't go right next to it then.
It's all right. I can take 2. Okay.
2? What do you mean? I think Ruffy can only throw 1.
If I was going to quantify the amount I could take, 2 is definitely in.
And then I'll use 1, 1, 1, and then my third action, I'm gonna like grab another bottled lightning.
Okay.
Another, moderate.
Perfect. How did you want to go now, or you wanted to wait? Delay for after Ruffy? Ruffy, go ahead.
Annie, are you sure?
She'll be okay.
I will be okay.
Are you okay, Annie?
Reluctantly, I'll spend one action to pull out the bottled lightning. I will throw it at it.
Nice.
Excellent.
That is a
That's
hit.
a 30.
Max damage. It's the lesser one. Okay, so takes extra 10 damage from its weakness, so 17 points from the original hit. The splash goes off. It's 1 point of damage to Saruk, 1 point of damage to Anita, 1 point of damage to Wybert. And then it takes the 1. That's the 1 damage. And then it takes an extra 10. And it zaps for more. And it's still flat-footed until the beginning of Refi's turn as well. It looks like it's the lightning's doing a lot of work. It's still standing, but you can just tell with the movement, it's getting very erratic, and it's not moving as smooth as it was once before.
It's a zombie.
And then third action, I would like to running reload right here.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Now Hal would like to take his turn, I assume.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Right here. I will take a
24 is a hit thanks to the flat-footed condition. The lightning blast.
14.
Okay. 14, it's resistant 10 to your damage, so it is still standing.
think I'll make a map attack against it.
Okay. Is that the? I guess it wouldn't be the press thing because you already used 2 actions. Never mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it yet. I normally only use it when I do like 3 attacks.
Yeah.
If it doesn't move away from me, it's already flat-footed. Snagging strike. Oops, that's -5. So it should be -5 on that. So 20.
Nice.
20 is not enough to hit, unfortunately.
Oh,
That's my turn.
All right, top of the 3rd round, Saruk.
Don't mind me. I'm counting all these bottled lightnings that I've bought. Do I? I'm thinking too hard. Devise a stratagem. Investigator, you're thinking too hard.
Oh, it's gonna be a 33.
Why the
oh.
Let's go.
Damn!
All right,
so
I'm
good
gonna
at
draw.
Pathfinder.
I clearly, I'm gonna draw that moderate bottled lightning that somebody gave me this morning for my 2nd action. Would a 33 hit this thing?
A 33 does hit. Unfortunately, it's not a crit,
Even though it's flat-footed?
even though it's flat-footed.
Boo. Okay, let me print the damage.
It's close, but it's not quite a crit.
Let me draw the things that I need to draw so I can print the damage. I think this sees the damage from Devise's. It does. Ooh, she do. Okay.
Well, let's just double check. Is that Devise a Stratagem actually right? +10, +4 is +14 your normal attack roll using your intelligence?
So everything else is, I'm putting the +1 in from like runes and shit.
Got it. I just want to make sure we got, because I know you went up a level. I just want to make sure that it's adding.
Right. I went up a level. So my intelligence is 18. I don't know what the 10 reads. If the macro would have updated when I updated the sheet, yes. If the macro you made would not have updated, it is 1 higher.
Yeah, let's double check. Because if it's 1 higher, it's a crit. Devise a stratagem roll. So I have it. It's your simple modifier plus your int modifier, which should already be. Yeah. So I think it automatically applies it.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
Too bad. Damn.
Too bad. Rip in. I guess I can have 1 only hit. That's fine. That's okay. So the whole team takes 2 electric damage.
That's okay.
Yeah. So 16 points of damage plus the weakness. So you splash it. It like gets zapped with electricity. Everyone takes the 2 points of splash damage around it. That's Refi, Saruk, Hal, Anita, and whatever. Literally the entire party except for Kijak.
And Kijak and I share hit points. It's fine. He felt it.
Share hit points. Yeah, exactly. And so you blast it, right? It like crumples in. You hear the grinding of the gear stop as it lays in like a crumpled pile in the middle of you guys. And then in the middle of that silence, you hear another sound. Not quite a grinding gear sound. Something deep within this thing.
Click, clack. Click,
Tick,
clack.
tock.
Ah.
Tick, tock.
No. It's a different sound now.
Yeah, it's not a click, like it's a tick-tock.
Oh no.
This better go on y'all's TikTok. It's too fucking meta.
It's not your turn, Hal.
What if it was?
Run away!
So that was 2 actions for Saruk, right? Or just
That
1?
was 3. That was devise, interact to draw a strike.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
I mean, you're not going to leave us on a cliffhanger when the thing's about to explode?
In this case, no, because its turn is next, and it happens. Its ability happens when its turn comes around again. So there is no. I think there is no time for you guys to even react. Yeah, there's no time for anyone to react or disable or to do anything. It's just bad luck with how it uses its built-in self-destruct action. So a 20-foot emanation, which is all of you guys. I need you guys to do a reflex saving throw as this creature, the ticking stops. A little alarm clock inside goes ring, 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 and then explodes outwards in a blast of shrapnel.
Praise Madragua.
Anita, you have the lesser cover bonus from Wybird at least, so that's good.
What does that mean?
It gives you an extra +1 to the saving throw.
Oh, so 25.
Wybird needs to make one as well.
Burnt all them hero points. Heck. So the fun thing about being a summoner is when we're both caught in a thing that does a reflex save, we are ostensibly rolling with disadvantage.
Oh.
Fun.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So how does that work? Do you both make your own rolls? You can't take twice as much damage, though, can you?
Right. Yeah. So the way it works, I'm going to grab like the exact text. Out of character, I have a champion summoner on Tuesdays, and I like to beat him up with fireballs. But the way it works is when we're both caught in like an AoE, say, because we share hit points, we both roll for it, but we can't take double of. So rather to represent, oh god, 2 people are taking damage, you roll twice and take the lower of the 2. There's like way later on, there's a feat at like level 12 that negates that. But if you want to hurt me, fireballs will do it.
Self-destruct action here is hurting then.
Yes, it's gonna suck.
21, which so the lower of the 2 is what, 18? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so failure for everyone except for Hal.
Is 25 a failure?
Yes.
Never mind.
Unfortunately,
I was
it
that
is.
way.
Oh look, someone gave Reficule a hero point.
It's 37 points of pierce. Oh yeah, Reficule, you got a hero point. Do you want to cash in the hero point right at the end of the session? RK Richard RPG gave Reficule a hero point.
What a
You might as well
kind
cash it
man!
in.
What an absolute good person. I bet he's great at chess and running edgy games sometimes. Reficule! He also does, so I'm going to use a reaction when this happens. The second new cool thing that I got, when you gave me Kijak, I was playing Elden Ring a lot at the time. And this is where the flavor comes from. There's an explosion. Saruk panics, looks over, sees like Refi's going to catch a lot of it, and roars. The roar is sounded off simultaneously by Kijak, who briefly demanifests and then jumps like up onto Refi to pull Refi backwards as an immediate action. This isn't one. As a free action, I'm going to hit the liberating step. I assume an enemy is damaging my ally with this.
Yeah, it is.
So then Refi gets GM does math resistance 8 to the incoming damage.
Yeah, so you take 8 less.
And may immediately step if they would like to.
Nice.
And then Kijak demanifests and appears back in the square that Kijak was in. You take, you know what? We're all bad at math. I'm using this
29.
calculator. You take 29.
Mhm.
29.
Yeah, if you just apply the damage and then just modify your -8 using shift click to apply the damage, it would do it too.
Goodness.
For more information, watch Foundry Crypt's video on damage by us.
Don't do this.
I think as that creature explodes, like the last remnants of its body just sort of explode outwards, sending shards ricocheting off the walls back and forth. You guys are caught in the shrapnel that kind of explodes outwards, much louder than even Reficule's gunshot was a minute ago. And if there was any stealth approach to your current mission, it is out the window because this is freaking loud. And nobody goes down, I don't think. No one went down from that damage that you guys all took. It just hurt quite a bit.
I feel like Kijak probably manifests in Swiss cheese briefly when they return from wherever it is they are reforming, and then Saruk starts just like bleeding out the nose.
And I think that's the last shot we get as we sort of see you guys kind of blown back, cuts, deep breathing, kind of looking at each other like, you know, welcome everyone to the Cradle of Quartz. Enjoy your stay. And I think that's where we kind of end tonight's session with the explosion. You found Kosawana's mechanical cat-like creature. It looked to be some sort of mechanical sphinx type thing. And then it exploded before you could do anything about it. Just bad timing with when you took it out right before its turn.
Yeah. It'd be like, you know what? I'm fine with that because I rolled very good dice forever and ever today.
Yeah, you did. Like we had enough hit points to take that damage, that self-destruct damage, because he's down right away.
So what's going to happen next time? Well, we're going to find out next week with some more Outlaws of Alkenstar.
TPK.
Only for them we live. Level 6 is so fucking cool in 2E. You get so much stuff.
Like I said, when we started tonight, I wasn't expecting to be here, but you guys just had awesome rolls in that first thing, and your reward was getting blown up at the end of the session.
Gee, thanks.
So should we do the 12 Days of Christmas one more time as an outro? I heard it was super popular.
12 shrapnel blasts. Yeah, that was
Internet
Restore 10
out.
hit points.
Oh
Can't-
yeah, my shitty
Oh,
small
no,
town
the
internet's
internet's dropping
fucking
again.
me up again. Damn.
But that's going to do it for us this week in Alkenstar. I guess it's going to do it for us this week in the Cradle of Quartz. Oh, yeah, look, his internet. He's even his camera's cutting out. Sorry, I can't do it. It's unfortunate.
Stars.
Big thanks.
Can't do it.
Big thanks, Ninna, Richard, Ricardo, Tommy for playing and keeping me on my toes. It's been a fun session. We got the Cradle. We find, this module is called the Cradle of Quartz. And guys, we're at the Cradle of Quartz. This is like
what happens when you guys got to the Abomination Vaults.
well, I don't know how, but we got to the Abomination Vaults in the first session somehow.
Wow. Speedrun. Hashtag 80%.
I guess if you consider the Abomination Vaults anything in the dungeon below, maybe we didn't get there till the second book. I don't know.
1 foot gets into the lighthouse.
We fought the kobolds early.
Cool. Well, that natural 1 recall knowledge for the rest of the campaign. Those Mitflits were kobolds.
It's a great bit. It was a great bit.
Big shout out at this time to all of our Patreon subs.
Patreons!
Thank
I
you.
want to give a huge shout out to all of them who make this possible. Give us a look at patreon.com/recallknowledge if you enjoy what you're saying. Oh yeah, thank you. So you can get behind the scenes look at some upcoming content and early releases before they hit YouTube. And your support, it just goes so far in helping us do what we do. So big thanks to David Sims, Jason Irvin, Mark Paquette, Awal Jalil, Derek Southworth, Ellie Boyle, Jay, Paul G, Sandra Wagner, Sam Skaggs. You guys are all awesome.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you
Thanks,
for being
guys.
awesome. And go check out our map pack that released. We have a new one coming out early January. Yep. Rick's making awesome maps every month for you guys. So hopefully you're appreciating those. Big thanks to Molten Hosting for sponsoring us this run tonight, the whole run, helping us to do our silly things. Go check them out at moltenhosting.com. Use that code Recall Knowledge.
One word.
One word.
It's a singular word in the box when you type it, and you can get an entire month of free on us and on them. So that's awesome. Tommy, shout outs. What do you got going?
I've got going all of the serotonin from the best session fucking ever. That's what I've got going. Hi, my name is Tommy. I do nerd things on the internet under this, where I make lots and lots of content for Pathfinder 1st Edition, 2nd Edition, and Starfinder. I am currently still working through Lost Omens and Possible Lands. The setting of this adventure. It's impossible to get through it all, especially when take all of the adulting that you have to do and then stack it up way fucking hard. So it's been, okay, when do I have time to edit? Today I put out, there's a deity in Verdra who's the easiest way to describe them, I think, is if you imagine a big fuck off snake, but then they have literally 80 arms attached to their hood with blades, and it's this quiet, contemplative, meditative being, and then they draw all the swords when you rouse them to ire, and the best flavor text. So best, actually, over the course of tonight's session, I got a DM from, I gotta pull up, I'm really bad at names, Tan Xiaohan, who wrote it, and wrote a bunch of the other stuff in Lost Omens and Possible. I was like, this is really cool, thanks for making this stuff. And I mean, if he says it, there's not just one idiot on the internet, right? It's 2. Go check it out. And all the other stuff as well. Frankly, I run professional games every day of the week that I'm not here. Basically, I have a lot of spots open if that might be your thing, or otherwise, hang out, press the buttons, watch the content. Oh man, my sentence structuring is all kinds of all over the place because serotonin make brain feel good.
That's all
I
the
needed
natural
today real
20s.
hard. I woke up and
Nice.
I'm feeling, things are okay. I got some games today. We are manifesting natural 20s, and look what happened. Ta-da!
It worked. And the GM didn't hit any natural 20s tonight, which is rare because I usually just crush you guys with natural 20s.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So by the time you guys are seeing this on YouTube, it'll be basically the end of the year. So hope you guys had a new year, and hope you guys had a good year spending it with us. We enjoy spending it with you, and we're going to be back for another episode, our next episode of Outlaws of Alkenstar, Cradle of Quartz. It's going to be December 28th, next Wednesday. It's going to be the last one we're doing this year. We're going to be off the first week of January. January 4th, we'll have no episode, but we do have one more in us that we're going to be recording between, New Year's and Christmas. So I hope you as a cast have happy holidays. I hope you guys at home have a happy holidays, and we're going to finish exploring. I guess we wouldn't be finishing. We're going to continue exploring the Cradle of Quartz next week. So until then, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.
Ooh, look at that entrance of it.